Hello cousins, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are going to start this video with chicken, but first, these are the main ingredients that I always use for washing and prepping my meats for cooking. I always use limes and white vinegar. In the event that I don't have limes available, I will always use lemons or bottled lemon juice. It works just fine. To clean my chicken, I'm going to be using chicken thighs. I'm going to be using a lime and a cup of vinegar. My chicken thighs are straight from the packaging, and so I'm going to walk you through washing my chicken and also trimming it. These specific chicken thighs had a ton of skin. Using a kitchen scissor, I trim off all of the excess skin and fat and I place it into a plastic bag. Why a plastic bag? Because when you toss it out without putting it into a plastic bag first, it makes your trash really stinky. So this acts like a shield or a barrier for the stinky smell. I add 1 cup of vinegar and I squeeze in the juice of 1 lime. Do not toss the lime peels. We are going to use this later on to scrub the chicken with it. Let the chicken sit in the vinegar for about 5 minutes. Once those 5 minutes are up, the chicken water is going to look like a murky color, so it's going to look like murky water. That's all normal. We are going to drain this liquid and then we're going to add more water. At this point, this is when we start the cleaning process or rinsing process. You massage the chicken over and over again until we are left with murky water again, which is drained again. At this point, this is what I was mentioning with the lemon peels. I scrub the chicken with the lemon peels and again run it through water. There's going to be a lot of running through water in all of the washing meats videos, but it's important. We need to cleanse our meat for cooking. We drain that last round of water and then we're going to be left with clean chicken, ready to season, ready to start cooking. Now in section 2, we are going to tackle cleaning pork. This is one of my favorites to clean because pork tends to get a little slimy as soon as you add any kind of acid to it. For my pork, I'm going to be using pork chops. Bone-in pork chops. I'm gonna run it through water a few times before we start the actual cleaning process. The water the first couple of times is always gonna be murky. You see that? We just run it through water a few times before we start the actual vinegar and lime cleaning process. And now we start the actual fun part. I'm gonna start with about 1.5 cups of vinegar. And I massage the pork chops the same way I was doing the chicken. Massage the vinegar into the pork chops and move it around. You are going to feel immediately how slimy it starts to get. This always happens with pork. Rest assured, this is normal. Look how murky the water is. I drain the water from the bowl and then I wash the pork chop one by one. I rinse every single pork chop one by one. I'm skipping quickly through this because I literally wash every single pork chop. And then we go on to the lime. I usually use the juice of 2 limes. I rinse, once all of my pork chops are rinsed, I add the lime juice to them and I move it the same way I did. Trying to do this with one hand and record is kind of hard. So you're gonna see how I struggle. And then I'm gonna massage the pork chops the same way I did the chicken and the same way I do with the vinegar. I massage the lime juice into the pork chop. Immediately, you're going to see how the color of the pork chops begins to lighten. Acid does this. This is natural and it's going to happen with all of your meats, mainly the pork and the red meats. When your limes are squeezed and massaged into the pork chop, you're going to add some water and you're going to let the pork chop sit in the sink for about 3 to 5 minutes just to let the acidity clean out the meat. After those 3 to 5 minutes that you let it sit, you now have lime clean pork chops. I'm going to rinse it one more time through water just to remove the last bit of murkiness. Throughout the video, you get to see just how clear the water gets, and that's very satisfactory to me. That to me tells me, okay, my meat is clean, we're ready to start seasoning, we're ready to start prepping for cooking. Now, this is clean pork chops. On to red meat. The third section of my washing meats videos is red meat. I will be using beef chuck. This is usually what I use for beef stew or any stew that entails red meat. Just like the chicken and the pork chops, I'm going to rinse it first. There's a lot of blood always on red meat, so I like to rinse it multiple times just to start clearing out some of the blood. I did it once, I do it twice. Gradually, you start seeing the water starts getting a little clearer, and this is natural. Rest assured, this is always going to happen with red meat. So we're going to drain it again, and then we're going to go directly into limes. I squeeze the juice of 2 limes, and then I add in about a cup of vinegar, and I let these sit together. I massage it in just the same way we do the chicken and the pork chop. At this point of the video, you are already a meat washing professional, okay? We're going to rinse it one last time. Do you see how clearer it's starting to become? We rinse with water, massage it together. This is the easy part. I feel that washing red meat is the easiest of the meats to wash. It's just clear. As soon as the water starts running clear, you're in the green zone. You can start prepping your meat for cooking. I'm going to give it one last rinse just to show you how clear the water runs and how easy it is to tell when red meat is ready to start cooking. Look at that. We are ready to start seasoning our meat for cooking. Thank you for watching, cousins. See you again for the next video.